Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're talking about something that some of you have been requesting, and this is a summary of cost of living. Let's get started. As I said in all my other videos about cost of living, is that your cost of living in Australia will be different depending on your lifestyle and the city and state you live in. So all the information that I'm providing here is for general guide only. Here we're going to use hypothetical scenarios. We know already, as I said in one of my other videos, that the average salary in Australia is around $62,000 per year. So we are assuming that you are perceiving that as an annual income. And your take-home pay after tax is $4,200 per month. I broke down your different expenses, monthly expenses, based on whether you are single, a couple, or a family, and also based on essentials and extras. So let's talk about essentials. I consider essentials food and groceries, and for this we're talking about around $125 per week for a single person, and this is around $541 per month, food and groceries. Then we have gym membership. Doing exercise, working out is very important. So for me, this is an essential, maybe not for you. And a gym membership here in Australia costs around $25 per week, which is around $108 per month. Utilities. Within utilities, I'm including electricity, which is around $40 for a single person per month. Water, $30 per month. Gas, around $30 per month. Of course, these numbers, these figures may vary according to your consumption. Rent. I have another video specific to rent costs, but we're assuming that you're a single person living in a studio or a one-bedroom apartment. You can expect to pay around $300 per week. This is around $1,300 per month. And this would be as well if you're living in a shared house. If you're sharing a room, this could be a bit lower, but no less than $200. Then we have internet. Internet costs is around $60 per month. Mobile phone, around $50 per month, depending on your plan. Public transport, if you use public transport on a weekly basis, this is around $46 per week, which is around $200 per month. And then I'm adding extras, such as dentist once a year. One visit is around $200. I'm considering doctor. Suppose that you're going for a doctor consultation twice a year. This is around $80, assuming that you're paying $40 for the consult. Dining out, I'm considering that you're going to go to a restaurant or dine out at least once a week. This is around $27 per week. Leisure, hanging out with friends, shopping, like clothing or going out for lunch, $60 per week. And hairdresser, I'm assuming that you go to a hairdresser 3 times a year, and I'm assuming that you're going to pay for each visit around $60 or $80. I usually pay more than $100 because I have long hair, but that's another story. So breaking that down in a monthly basis, I'm assuming that you'll pay $20 for the hairdresser per month. So adding all these extras gives me a total of $420 with 33 cents per month. If we add extras plus essentials for a single, we have that your cost of living would be $2,779 with 66 cents. And if we're assuming that you're receiving $4,200 per month, your remaining savings are going to be around $1,420. This would be your costs as a single person. Please, if you're already living here in Australia and you have a different calculation, let me know, because this is not an exact science, and that's why I was always a bit apprehensive to really make a video about your hypothetical costs. I'm basing all this as well on evidence-based research and also on my experience, right? Okay, now let's assume that you're a couple. So let's go to essentials. I'm kind of doubling all the expenses that the single person had. It's basically the same, but for example, for rent, I'm assuming that you're living in a city apartment or in a house in a suburban area. You'd be spending around $400 per week. I think you might spend a little bit more, but it depends on the area. If you live in Sydney, probably you're going to be spending a bit more. So for rent, this gives me around $1,700 per month. And extras, I'm assuming the same, so this would be around $800. So if you add everything up, this would give you around 4,637 Australian dollars, but if you divide this by 2, this will give you around $2,318 each per month. So basically you're spending much less than the single person, and this of course comes down to splitting rent costs and internet costs as well, and sometimes even utilities and groceries as well. Okay, now let's assume that you're a couple with 2 young kids. So based on my research, you'd be spending on groceries, food and hygiene items around $437 per week, which gives me a total of $1,895.83 per month. Gym membership, I'm assuming that both of you are going to the gym, not the kids. For gym, you'd be spending around $216 per month. For electricity, $140 per month. Water, $105 per month. And gas, $105 per month. For rent, I'm assuming that you're living in a 3-bedroom house in a suburban area. You can expect to pay around $600 per week. It might be less, so it depends on the suburb that you live, and that gives me around $2,600 per month. And then internet, standard $60, mobile $100, assuming that the kids don't have phones, and public transport $398 per month again. And this is when it gets tricky. The average cost of childcare in Australia is around $546 per week, assuming that you take the kid 5 days a week to childcare. It gives me a total of $2,366 per month. And then I'm assuming that you're taking your kids to public school. There are Catholic schools and independent schools and private schools. These cost a fortune. The Catholic schools, not so much. From what I read, they're about $10,000 per year. But we're talking here in this hypothetical scenario that you're taking your kids to a public school. This is around $3,000 per year, which gives us a total of $250 per month. And extracurricular activities can be around $160 per month for each child. And of course, in this calculation, I'm assuming that you're not going to be dining out once a week, but in total, a family of 4 could be spending around $8,000 and $9,000 per month, which gives us around $4,538 each per month. And please bear in mind that these costs may vary a lot depending on your electricity consumption or water consumption, or whether you take your child to childcare or to a school. Let's talk about a car. If you have a car, insurance would cost you around $12.50 per week, registration $15 per week, and maintenance around $50 per week. I'm giving you the per week numbers, but usually you pay registration every 6 months or every 3 months, and maintenance once a year. It depends. And the price of fuel has really gone up as well lately. Before it was around $1.30 the liter, now it's around $2. And this is of course due to the current humanitarian crisis in Ukraine. So adding all these car costs up, having a car would cost you around $110.50 per week, which gives us a total of $478 per month. This could be less, this could be more. It depends on how fuel efficient your car is as well. And here I'm not considering the cost of buying a car. As I said in one of my other videos, you can buy a second-hand car on carsales.com.au or other websites. And I have another video as well on how to live cheap in Australia. So if you haven't checked it out yet, check it out. And thank you so much again for being an amazing supporter of the channel. Really appreciate it. Bye.